Welcome back. Okay, so we have gotten through quite a bit of content so far. We are now in the empathize phase. You've gone through our course objectives, we've gone through prerequisites, and most importantly, what is design thinking? I hope that was helpful for you. In this section, the empathize section, we'll start with discovering your personality, but you'll also go through what your work and life view look like. We'll talk a bit about a good time journal and what that looks like. And of course, we'll talk about how to track your activities. And I just want to give Bill Burnett and Dave Evans some credit here. This part of the course does have a lot to go with the Design Your Life book. So I want to give you guys that information again if you want to pull that book or pay for that book and purchase it. So that'll help you a lot, but I'm going to give you the semantics of it and walk you through it. The first part of this, however, is really something that I've added to the course because as a change manager, I think it's important to start there. So let's get into that part, and that is understanding your personality. So what I want you to do to do that is I want you to go to a personality testing site. It's called Equilibria. And I know that's a mouthful, so you guys are going to have to just kind of look at the page here that I'm sharing to go to the Equilibria site. And it is a personality testing site. And what's unique about Equilibria is that they are upfront with helping you understand that while this does give you some insight into your personality, they are very clear that your personality is a small percentage of who you are. In addition to your personality, your character makes up a larger percentage of who you are. And so we want to start by talking a bit about what your personality is and how it works and influences you, but also take some time to think about your character. And your character is made up of just who you are, how you see the world, how you respond to the world, how you respond when no one is looking, and I want you to think about that when you are starting to develop what your personality is, right? And don't put too much weight. I say that to say, don't put too much weight on your personality. Don't think that because I am a X or because I am a Y, it drives my entire belief system or my entire behavior around X, Y, and Z. No, it does make up a component of why we do things and how we do things, but it is not the complete picture. There are other components to it. So let's start with the personality. So to give you a little more detail, the Equilibria page, the personality test, is driven around color systems, right? There is a 4-color system. And if you look at our screen here, you'll see a picture of the 4-color system. And it basically chalks up who we are into 4 different domains. And those 4 domains are our red side of our personality, which is the doer side of our personality. This is the part of your personality that helps you to take action and get things done. And then there's the yellow side of your personality, which is the part of your personality that helps you interact and engage with others, right? This is the people side of you, if you will. Then there's the blue side of your personality, which is the relator side of your personality. This is the part of your personality that helps you to empathize with others and you really be in tune with what others feel and believe and need. So then the final side is your green side of your personality, and that is the thinker side of your personality. This part of your personality helps you to plan and analyze information. Okay, and what we do with the e-color system is you take about 15 minutes, you answer about 35 questions, and the Equilibria tool will give you a readout of what your preferences are, what your leanings are. So for me, I mentioned to you quite a few times that I like to analyze things and I like to think about them and spend a lot of time really understanding something before I move into it. So I came back in this tool as a green-red person, okay? So you can start to make some assumptions about things based on that, but keep in mind, like I said, your personality is a small part of you, because had I not told you those things about me, you probably would have thought, well, she's bubbly. She's come into this kind of engaging. She seems friendly enough. And you may have thought my yellow side came out. Or you may have thought, well, wow, she's really caring about people and her job is around helping others as a change manager. And you really might have leaned to, well, maybe she's blue. And you would have all been correct, because no one is one or two things. As this explains, we are a makeup of all four of these things. But when I am at my most comfortable, when it comes to the kinds of jobs that I would prefer, the things that I would like to do, I prefer and lean to the red and the green. And because I know that, I am aware that I need to not forget about the yellow and the blue side of me, right? So take that information, and really absorb it. Be kind to yourself. I don't want anyone to take this information and then, be harsh to yourself or harsh to others, because there is no one right or wrong way to be. Everyone is needed to be able to create a complete picture, right? Some of us are going to go into leadership. Some of us are already in leadership or had leadership positions. And having this information helps us to understand how to treat others as well. Once you know that you have a personality and a preference, you understand others do as well. And so where you may be strong, you need others to fill in those gaps. So for me, I try to make sure that I have people on my team who are very much right-brained, right, and creative and empathetic, because I know that while that is not my preference and my leaning, they create balance and strength for me. And then I try my best to not look at them as not being proficient, because they aren't necessarily into the details the way I am. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much more time on that, but in this section of empathize, and we're discovering our personality, that is the takeaway for you to go take that course and learn a bit about your personality, and to be kind to yourself, and remember that personality is a small part of who you are, and that there is a larger part, which is your character, and that we can all do a lot. You may not be able to do a lot about your personality, because that's something that we are born with, but you can do a lot about your character, and you can change how you behave toward others. Okay, that is the first section of this. The next section is your work and life view, and you have a little work to do here. So I would love to have done this course in person, because I like to be able to hear the work and life view of others. This starts to develop your story. But what I want you to do for your work and life view is to take a little time. I don't want you to spend more than 15 minutes on this, but I want you to spend some time first starting with your life view. I know it's different on this page, but I want you to first write your life view. And what I mean by your life view is I want you to answer some questions about who are you? What do you believe? What is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? Do you believe in a higher power? Do you believe that that higher power has a place in your life or an impact on your life? So we all have unique beliefs based on how we were raised, based on what we choose to believe once we are adults. And those beliefs impact our opportunities, especially our life view. So I want you to spend 15 minutes and in 250 words, write out what your life view looks like. And you know what? This is not a right or wrong. This is just for you to, sometimes when we write things out, they become real for us. Sometimes we think about things, and as we think about them, the thought comes, and it's just as quickly, it's a fleeting thought for us. But when we write it down or type it out, it becomes real for us. This is who I am. This is what I believe. And in that same process, we allow ourselves to accept that belief. Does that make sense? So for me, I believe in God. I believe there is one God, and He is in control of my life, and I can call on Him and pray to Him and ask Him for help whenever I am in a difficult situation. And I don't want to ever do anything that forces me to not be able to be comfortable believing in my God. So I accept that. I have been in situations, and I have been in jobs where the expression of my belief in God was almost forbidden. I don't want to say forbidden, but it was very clear that you should not speak about what your beliefs are, because it could become controversial and people could create heated situations because of the differences in people's beliefs. But this is for you. And no one is here. No one is going to judge your beliefs. This is your truth. So you are allowed to write out what you believe in your worldview. And I want you to start with what you believe. This is what I believe about life and what I believe the world is, and answer some of those difficult questions, okay? And then in turn, I want you to do the same thing about work. Okay, so because what we do is we adopt a belief that work is supposed to be X, Y, and Z. And we assume everyone has that same belief. And we do not. So for Sally, work is, oh my God, it has to be passionate, and I have to love it. And I can't go do something that is against, human rights. And she has a belief about work. And then for Tom, work is about providing. Work is about going in and being there and showing up and doing a good job and being loyal. Forgive me for the added drama, but I'm trying to help you to understand the differences, because Sally and Tom run into each other. And Sally is passionate about doing something, and Tom is here to get the job done. And Sally and Tom clash. But neither of them are wrong, because that is their beliefs about work. So I want you to write down. And this is not a job description, right? Notice that I didn't say that, Sally thinks that work is creating art, and she goes to the local high school and she teaches art, because then it becomes a job description. This is not a job description. This is what you believe work is. These are my beliefs about work, right? Tom isn't an engineer that goes into a corporation and works 8 hours a day and makes sure that, he creates the best drawings or whatever. He is not his job description. His view on work is what he believes work is for. Okay? I'm sorry if that was disconnected. But that's what I want you to do. I want you to write 250 words. And if there are some questions that help you to write this, it's, what is an ideal work day? What does work look like? What is work for? Why do we work? Why do you do it? Don't write a job description. Instead, craft a broad overview. Okay? That should help you write 250 words on what does work mean. What is your work view?